What did you buy?
I bought a 1992 Toyota Supra. Turbocharged. Unfortunately, it's automatic. But it's definitely a project car. Needs a little bit of cleaning. Mileage is about 300k. We got it out of Brampton, Ontario. And if you walk around the car, I'm going to shut this hood. You can see the rust on the hood. And if you look at the rust on the rest of the body, this is by far the worst of it. There's actually a hole here. A lot of this is surface rust. Like if you look up here, surface rust. Some rodents chewing on a back bumper. Some more surface rust here. Like that's probably fixable. But other than that, everything underneath the car is solid. I mean, like solid. So even if you look at the exhaust system, go down here and take a look at the exhausts. Stock exhaust, fully intact, all the way back down. No holes, all pinch welds intact, all of the subframe is intact. Like there is. I opened the trunk of the car. They gave me an extra set of wheels with it, which are kind of got things living on. But yeah, I pulled everything up from the bottom. No holes, all solid. Really, really solid car. I mean, needs some work, but solid car. So it came with no ownership, and we got a bill of sale with it, belonged to a man who's passed away. Looks like he purchased it, never registered it, and so we're gonna see how we can go about getting an ownership for this vehicle. Otherwise, it's gonna be a parts car, which would really be a shame because it's a 1992, which means it's the last of the MK3s, which I think there was about 1,100 or 1,150 made of this particular car in that year. So I think a little over 100,000 made throughout the MK3 model. So turbocharged car, fortunately automatic, like I said. Okay, so besides cleaning the vehicle, we did a pretty thorough clean.
Should I do a walk around?
No shampoo. You can do a walk around.
All right.
Then you can actually see what it looks like when it's not clean, but you know, we power washed it so that all the moss and everything is off it.
So when I made the first video, part of the video, it was at night. Now you can actually see the car in the day. Tires do go flat. From what my brother is telling me, it's got rim leaks, so I can always bring that to work, clean them up so they can stop leaking.
And then we got the all famous Fabio, who's sitting in the interior, which is actually a very clean interior.
Dude, I drive this thing.
Yeah.
I think we're all gonna drive this thing.
We're all gonna fit in there with the target we bought.
Okay, so explain to me, what have you done? I know last night the starter wouldn't crank over.
So we got clicking. We thought the starter was bad. We actually rotated the motor. We rotated it quite a bit. I took out all the spark plugs. So the spark plugs were pretty rough. I did borescope a couple of the cylinders, so we got a good crosshatch in the cylinders that I could see in. There was a lot of water and debris in here still, so I took everything apart. I had all of the coils off, and I cleaned everything. I had some spark plugs which matched the length of the ones that came out of the car, so I'm not sure what they're for, but we threw those in there anyways, so it's got new spark plugs in it. And then I took out the starter, which was not as easy as people say. 2 bolts, 2 wires, yeah.
2 bolts, 2 wires, 3 hours later.
Yes. So we got to put this heater core hose back on because we couldn't access the top bolt for the starter. We took out the master cylinder just so we could get our hands in there. I worked underneath the car, and we took it out. There was a little bit of corrosion, and we were able to clean that up. When I put it on the jump start, we were actually able to spin the starter. The starter spun straight away, like there was no delay in it. So it's not like it was stuck and then we got it to move. No, it actually spun by hand too. So now what we're doing is we got the jump pack on it. I have an actual battery in here which is a little bit weak, and we're going to try and turn it over and see if we can get it to actually just spin right now with the starter. So Bobby, are you ready?
Yeah, dude, this thing's got lumbar support.
Hey, we got lumbar support, so
Alright, ready?
we're good to go. Yeah, I'm ready.
Got power.
We got power. So the starter works, just really weak. We need maybe to charge up the battery and
Let me throw some booster cables on it.
yeah, we can throw some booster cables on it. You want to try it again? Sounds like it's got compression.
Yeah, it does.
So whether we have spark or not, I feel like we got spark.
Oh yeah.
We got spark, and we just got to spray some starter fluid in it, and she should just fire right up, right, Boobs?
Yeah, like the last one we did.
Which one? The one that we tried to blow ourselves up with? Or
No, the one before that.
That actually ran, but we actually ran.
On starter fluid.
No, we didn't.
We did. We were at Larry's house.
Did it run? I don't remember running that.
It ran on the trailer.
I think it sputtered over there.
It did sputter.
Yeah. But here,
I think I revved it because it blew up dust everywhere, and you were like.
no, that was here. That was all the shit came out of the exhaust. So yeah, I think the only other thing that we have to do, put the heater core back in. I gotta find out where the fuel line is so we can disconnect it. I don't think the pump is working because we don't hear it kick on. I tucked it underneath there, and then yeah, I think we're good to go. We're good to throw some starter fluid in it.
Is there coolant in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a ton of coolant. I had to take everything off this morning. And this is, you can see it's loose. I took out the thermostat and just to get the timing cover off. You can see the timing belt. I wanted to see the timing belt, what condition the timing belt was.
Doesn't look horrible.
No, it actually looks okay, man. 308,000 kilometers, and that's the timing belt. So I would say it's been changed at some point. But
Yeah.
it's not cracked at all.
So there's like some questions on this car. So the hood prop, we don't know what happened to the hood prop.
Well, we do. It's a piece of wood.
No,
That's one that I have underneath.
that's not the hood prop. Over here, missing the antenna. We're missing some side markers. There's like some trim that has been unbolted or broken. Not too sure. My brother did vacuum it. You can see somewhere here.
What goes on behind the scenes, so we were not getting any injector, like there was no injector pulse, there was nothing. So I took the fuel injectors out, I cleaned the fuel rail, I actually ultrasonic the injectors, and I put some power to it. I got a little injector tester kit, and I was able to tap them with a hammer real lightly, and they all came back. They all started firing. So I flushed them with some brake clean, and I put everything back together. And then Fabio came over and he helped me right now, and we cut the return and the main line right behind, right in front of the rear wheel, and then we connected the line suit. If you want to see, we got a little makeshift.
So as you can see, he put everything back together in the engine bay. And let's go over here and see what they got.
So we got the makeshift pump. So we got the line going to the, we got the return going in here, and we got the main going. So it should hopefully fire up.
Right. So this is their power source right
We got
here.
the fire extinguisher right there.
Oh, he's got the top off.
I got the top off, and I got the window down, not having any control. window control, so I figured out which wire it was, and I put a wire to it. Couple
Nice.
hot and cold, and then just went down. No problem. So ready, Fobs?
Fuel pump.
Fuel pump. Just
Leaks?
check and see if there's any leak. You hear it bubbling.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh?
Get the starter fuel.
No, go ahead.
There it is.
Smoking.
Oh, stop.
What was that?
I think that was the battery.
Where'd the spark come from?
I think the battery.
Maybe not connected properly?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So you got a big vacuum, so might be leaking from that.
Well, that's to be expected after I don't know how many years.
Oh man. So as you can see before, we were trying to start it with starter fluid. You could hear the knock, but there's no knock. Burning off whatever's inside.
Oh, yeah.
You said you put some oil in there, right?
Oil in it. There was already something in there. It does have coolant. I dropped some of the coolant out.
See anything leaking? Still smoking like crazy.
It's getting worse.
Okay.
Fuel pump still going.
I mean, that's running pretty good for all the vacuum leaks it has.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jimbo? It's running. No? It's running perfect. Yeah, it's been sitting for years.
Clear enough though.
Yeah, it's really smoky.
I need a fan. That pump is working still. Should I put the lights on?
There it is.
Style, baby.
It's a 92.
We're just getting into the 90s with this one.
This strap. Was it what's that white Testarossa? In that TV show.
Wow.
White Testarossa.
Oh, and Miami Lights?
Miami Vice.
What do you think? We're good?
Yeah, it's so cool.
That's cool.
So I actually was able to put some new lines in, copper nickel lines. I used compression fittings for the return, the main feed, and the vent. I also did the brake line, which was not compression for sure. I I had a bit of a problem with the old sending unit. I'll show you. I mean, they don't really call it a sending unit, but this one here, when I got it in and I actually fired it up, it was leaking from right here and just spraying like crazy. So even though I did solder it, it still leaked. And I was like, you know, I'm not gonna deal with it because I already dropped the tank twice. So it was actually down 3 times altogether. I just put it back in and I got a new one today. I put it in with the new fuel pump, which is a AEM 340. And we're gonna start her up. I already primed it to see if there's any leaks. I didn't see anything. I'm gonna have to double check everything. But yeah, we're gonna crank her over. So I did get it primed already and we're gonna fire her up. There should be enough gas in it to start it, so ready? I don't see any dripping underneath. It's actually running really smooth. So I did all the leaky hoses, changed them all out, beautiful. And I'm working on the brakes right now. So I got new brakes all the way around, and I got some MK4 wheels for it. A buddy of mine brought them over to me, and yeah, just cleaning up a little bit of body work. And so I'm thinking, I was hoping by tonight I would be able to bleed the brakes and get it down on the ground and take it for a quick spin just to see if it shifts and stuff. But I'm like super happy. What do you think, Pete?
I like it. It's running smooth. Looking underneath.
Running on its own gas. I mean, it's stumbling right now, but it could be because there's not enough gas in the tank. It was a completely empty tank, and I think I put about 3.5. So I'm pretty sure that this is not getting, and it's on an angle. So, it's telling me that I need to tap. Still not getting a boost gauge, so I'm wondering what that's about. Maybe I didn't hook it up properly.
It's possible.
Oh, you gotta readjust this handbrake for sure. I think I set the handbrake when I had it up. But that is unreal. And I think the gas gauge is working because it went up a little bit. I know there's barely any gas in it. I'm not sure if the light's going to stay on forever because that part was kind of messed up. But hey, geez, we got a running Supra after 24 years. It took me a couple weeks, but it was more of a parts thing than a person thing trying to fix it. So.
That's cool. Thank you. So here's the Supra. So he's got the other Supra wheels from, I believe, a 92 and up, newer. So when he put them on, they did rub in the back. They were touching the suspension. I believe in the rear they were rubbing. So he's got some spacers. So now there's no more rubbing. The fitment does look good. Car runs and drives. Still work on progress. You can see he sanded all the rust spots on the hood and primed it. He wants to get these pillars repaired. He cleaned the interior. He's got an aftermarket radio. So what he ended up doing is he found a car in the US, a whole car, and he purchased it. So what I'm going to end up doing is I will be importing it into Canada. And then it's no engine, no transmission. But it's got the parts he wants. So it's got the door. So he's gonna stop the door. He's got this piece on that was on that car he put on. So that car came with a lot of parts. So the parts that I came with is a lot of piping work that look a lot cleaner than that was on this car. So this pipe right here was powder coated. What else did he get? A lot of tubing like this that he put on. He's got more tubing. I believe here's some more parts here. So it's got water pump with a lot of new pulleys looking like that. It came with a bigger turbo, but it's an eBay turbo. There it is. So it's like stuck in there, but yeah, nice bigger turbo, wastegate, and manifold. So a lot of parts for the car. Work in progress, but it's getting there. Unlike my other projects cars, but I'm working on it. They're getting there as well. Hey Reedman, what do we have here today?
We have a beautiful 1992 Toyota Supra Turbo. This car, we actually picked it up out of the dirt. Actually, it wasn't in dirt. It was on somebody's asphalt driveway, but it was sunken into the asphalt. The car looked terrible, but it looked like it had good bones. There was barely any rust underneath. It was just on the outside. And this is what it's come to so far. Like, it's transformed. We did get a paint job. We did clean it up. She runs beautiful. She wasn't running, but she runs absolutely beautiful. It's got a little smoke coming out of the tailpipe, but you know, the valve stem seals definitely are probably bad in it. Just gonna get an overhaul.
What's the mileage?
308,000 kilometers. I don't know if the head gaskets have been done in it. I'm assuming probably somewhere in this life it has been. But the fact that it runs this smooth is a testament to the reliability of Toyota. Like, this is insane. Everything is original from when I got the car, even the timing belt. Like, this is a non-interference motor, so I'm not worried if this timing belt goes, because I got a new timing belt that's going to go on it. But I did change the belts because the belts are pretty precious. But other than that, it's just been more of a cleanup thing, and she's running good.
So starting out, you picked up this car thinking it was going to be rotted out, but it was a solid frame.
So I didn't pick it up thinking it was going to be rotted out. I picked it, I went to look at it, wasn't sure what I was getting. Was buying it without an actual, we call it ownership here in Canada, so I was buying it without a title. It came with a bill of sale. In Canada, there's a way to get the ownership for a vehicle by doing an affidavit of ownership. And I looked into it, and I was able to do it for this car because it was still in the system. Once I did that, I was like, you know what, instead of parting it out, I'm going to save it. So that was the ongoing process of trying to save this vehicle.
So from looking at the car to actually getting it, how long was that process?
So I would say it was about a month and a half, because it took me a couple weeks or 2 or 3 weeks to get down there to see the car. Negotiated. They didn't realize they didn't have an ownership. They called me back. I backed out on it. Started looking at some things. My brother was giving me some, different avenues to see what we could do. Said the car was still listed, so I had the guy's phone number, so I started texting him saying, hey, listen, I'll buy it without an ownership, bill of sale. He was like, fine. We negotiated a price, and went down and picked it up. So that was probably about a month and a half, the whole deal. And a buddy of mine has a tow truck company. It's called First Class Towing, and they're great people. And he actually drove down there with me to get this vehicle. So yeah, we got it on the tow truck, and the car is just ended up being a lot better than expected. Like a lot better. Like if you look at the interior, I mean, I did clean it, but it's all original interior.
So I know it came with 2 sets of wheels.
So it came with the original 2 sets of wheels for the 89 or 90, I think it's 89 turbo wheels. These are the MK4 wheels that I picked up and put them on the car. I think they look a lot better. I think they had this style for the 92, but they were 16-inch instead of the 17-inch MK4s. These are a staggered set here. Yeah, and then I did put a set of lowering springs on it, which I ended up getting off eBay. It was brand new, old stock, unknown ride height, like a whole bunch of different things. Like it was $130 US, and I was able to swap them out. I was able to fix we had a problem with the brake lines towards the back and the fuel lines, and the gas tank was kind of rusty. I cleaned it up, put a new fuel pump, new sending unit in there, a bunch of stuff, got everything to work. But yeah, it needs some seals and like it needs a lot of stuff still, but it actually drives really smooth. So it's unbelievable.
All right.
Testament to Toyota. Let me tell you, the car can sit for 20 plus years and still run like this. It's insane.
That's it right there. Still coming back together. Trim pieces, certain lights going back on. He put these fog lights in. Is that correct?
Facebook Marketplace, $20. You know, if you try to find some stock fog lights, because both fog lights were broken. One was cracked, the other one's completely broken. I mean, they're super pricey, and you don't get something perfect. And I found these on Marketplace for like $20, and I retrofitted them to the actual stock wiring and the actual bracket, and I think they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're yellow. That I got them running for daytime, so it works so good because we need daytime running lights here in Canada. But the car overall is coming together. I haven't touched it in a few weeks now because the weather's been cold and a few things going on in the house. But like even if you look at the emblem, like I could have put a really nice clean emblem, but I wanted to keep this just to show like this is what the car was weathered like when I bought it. Like, it was very, very weathered. But I mean overall the car is beautiful.
Yeah. Looks good. It's looking
better.
good. Yeah.
Compared to what it looked like on the outside, it looks really good.
So to make those wheels fit, what did you have to do?
So they would have fit regardless, but I ended up putting a 1-inch spacer on the front, and I think I got about a 20 mil spacer in the back.
And if you don't put those in,
if you look, they're kind of sunken in a little bit. I think there is some rubbing issues, but yeah, those are actually made for Toyota, so those worked out perfect. But it's gonna need new tires. I gotta get the skirt or the ground effect for the front on both sides. I have one, but they rust out from the back because there's a metal plate inside. But yeah, once I get that, put the indicator lights on, just put some trim pieces on. And yeah, I think she needs a wet sand. The paint job was okay. It needs a little work. But I mean, overall, compared to what it looked like, dude, night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a good 10-footer. Definitely a good 10-footer.
So we'll post other videos of it beforehand. I told him to drive like that. Told him put some nice wheels on it and drive it the way it looked. But this is the end result that we have now. But it needed it. Like the glass has been replaced, yes, correct?
The windshield was cracked.
And
it doesn't have the original trimmer on the glass.
And you had a lot of rot at the pillars here?
Yes.
The okay.
Pillars were rotted out.
And that's all fixed now?
It's fixed. I think it should hold. I mean, it's hard to say. I think there's filler in there, but when I went and saw it when they were fixing it, they actually cut out the rotted out pieces and welded in metal. So I'm assuming there's some, I mean, right now it still looks good. It's been out in the weather.
No leaks.
No leaks. No leaks.
That's the main thing. No leaks.
The hood is, I'm going to have to change the hood because it did bubble up. I bet it went down. So even if I wet sand it, it's still going to be. But for what it is right now, it's good enough. I mean, if we can make it into a really fun daily driver, I think that would be really great. Maybe either if I sell it, maybe somebody else can do a full restore, or maybe I'll do it. But I love Toyotas, so I can't see.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna be a keeper. You have the other ones. Let go of the other ones. Keep this one.
Yeah, I think this. I've never heard the fan kick on before.
There you go. It's gotten to operating temperature.
I didn't know she's over here. She's still smoking. Oh yeah, no, she's not over here, man. You can look at the temp. She's been out for a little while.
So yeah, temp is good. Still running smooth.
But she got like 0 oil pressure. Look at that. I don't know if that's a problem.
Did you have oil pressure before?
It's got a little bit. Oh, there it goes.
It's moving up.
It's in kilograms per centimeter squared, so I don't know what that means. It's got one of those though. It's got one. We'll take her out, we'll beat her up, and then we'll
Cool.
go, man. We got a big turbo.
Manual swap eventually?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, this is automatic. But manual. He does have other parts to do the manual, right?
I don't have a lot of parts. I sold that guy. I had a parts car, and I ended up selling it. So I may have to look for another one or just figure out what I'm going to do. Because that had the diff, that had the pedals, it had everything.
Oh, so you didn't keep all that stuff. Gotcha. All right, thank you, sir.
Dude,